I have another idea for a book.
Yeah.
You know how trilogies, famous trilogies, often follow a pattern where the first one is kind of sets the scene, the second one is kind of the dark, outlying one, and then the third one returns and sort of repeats the first one.
So Grandpires was like the gritty Empire Strikes Back.
That's right.
And now we're getting to the Ewoks.
The third one is called Time Mummies. We've done Frankenstein monsters.
Yeah.
Done vampires.
Now mummies.
Now mummies.
It's the logical next step.
So
also, it's an untapped creature in the paranormal.
I've seen no mummy love.
There's a lot of.
Mitch has been really interested in history class, and he's gotten into the ancient Egyptians. While this is going on, you learn that there's this war brewing. It's the war between all humanity and demons.
You know what would be better is if you made them dragons.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Because it kind of goes medieval.
Yeah.
That's kind of in the background to Mitch learning about the Egyptian views on immortality.
He didn't seem that interested when it was the vampire view of immortality.
So, he's reading about all this stuff about immortality, so the idea that mummies were mummified so they could last forever. And he's been doing this work with the really nerdy boy at school, who's like, had got a brain of like a mathematician, brilliant, idiot savant kind of guy.
Do the kids all call him Brain Man? Like Rain Man, but just the brain.
I'll do the jokes. It kind of stops there, and you have a little bit of Mitch and some girl.
Tina, presumably.
No.
A new one.
Bring in a new one, and maybe she's got got a bit of Dolly Parton. Or something. So she's really popular. So everyone's in school, and all of a sudden, everything's going normally, and all of a sudden they look out the window and it goes red. And everyone's like, the war's on! Crouch! Cover! Under your desks! People are getting incinerated all over the place. And everyone's died. You're like, oh, that's it. End of the book. Everyone's dead. But Mitch runs into the science lab. Brain Man is in there. He's like, Mitchell, come over here. I've discovered something amazing. We can do mummification today.
How is that amazing? That's 5,000-year-old technology.
We can do working mummification today.
Oh, as in the
immortality.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm aware we're about to die, Mitchell. And Mitchell's like, oh, I thought you weren't aware, but you were aware. Oh, maybe quiet, smart people do know what's going on.
This whole trilogy is sort of outing itself as your personal teenage angst, kind of.
No, I'm just thinking...
And the end of the story is the smart nerd is the winner. Everybody else dies.
Hey, the
suckers.
It's not about me. It's about what I want. I want to encourage the teens.
Okay.
So I think if you're smart, if you're lonely, if you're quiet, we believe in you.
Maybe you'll be the one to invent real mummification.
The brain guy opens up a tile on the floor, and he's got a whole secret lab down there.
Of course he does.
You go down there, and he's like, look, I've been doing experiments this whole time. I've got 2 lead-lined sarcophagi. Hop in and get mummified.
So
we will wake up in 1,000 years' time.
So we now have a mummified Frankenstein.
Yeah, how cool is that?
I love it.
It's like Fry in Futurama. He just wakes up in the future.
Yeah.
And also, it's basically...
Some would say a lot like Fry.
That's really...
What happened to the girl?
Dead.
Oh. This is meant to be the light one.
Look, I'll see if I can work her back in while I'm gone here.
Okay.
So they wrap themselves in like this, high technical silicate ribbon. Pull something out of their nose with a hook. Like, so this it's all linked, but it's different. If you want to fill in actual sciencey bits there about what it all is, you can.
No, thank you. I think anyone who's read my books will know that I do not want to fill in the actual scientific details.
So how does this machine work, Jordan? Jordan turned around to explain it, but instead bit the tongue of everyone there.
I love that the one bit that you've latched onto about all of my series, which may I add you have not read, is the tongue biting. I have one tongue biting.
I have read the dedication.
The one to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They wrap themselves up in the silicon ribbon, they close the lead-lined sarcophagus, they fall asleep. End the chapter.
Yeah.
New chapter. They wake up, they step out, it's
a dragon wasteland.
Scorched earth, baby. And the dragons have taken over, they're farming, they've set up schools. If you want a quadrilogy, dragon preschool or something. They wander around looking for the few surviving humans who've survived. Mm-hmm. They find a colony in a cave. All these post-apocalyptic sci-fis, there's always a colony of lepers somewhere.
And then they take a big last stand against the dragons.
Yeah. But while they're building up to that, Mitch meets the new girl. We never named her, did we?
No.
Susie.
I love how
So-
all of your characters have like names that were popular 100 years ago.
Well, I probably, because I stopped reading when I was reading those kindergarten primers. Susie! How are you in this time? I'm not Susie, I'm Susie's great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter.
How did she have a child when she died before?
She didn't die. She was one of the Earth survivors. So there's your love story.
Yeah.
Okay, so that builds up as they're preparing to fight the dragons. From Frankenstein's school, they know how being a Frankenstein works a little bit.
Yeah.
And so there's these awesome bits where it's like, how are we going to defeat the dragons? We're all just kind of withered, leprous.
Well,
Human.
we'll cut 5 of you up, stick you together, and make one Superman.
Sort of. So what they do is they go to all the graves, and they're like, ooh, strongman arm, put it on you. Ooh, this guy was like a sword swallower in the circus, give him your throat. And so this is like the full circle thing of, Frankenteens was about the troubles of being sewn together. But here it's like, what will save humanity? They make all the humans like these awesome super humans with all these awesome powers.
Yeah.
They plan how to beat the dragons, and because they all have these powers, they beat the dragons. The Frankenteens, who were once the ridiculed, scum of society, are now
the saviors of
the
humanity.
saviors
and
of
the
humanity.
majority.
And so now Mitch, his self-esteem is huge, and so the last scene he can be wandering down to the Susie, great, and he can be like, hey Susie, his arm falls off. Because, that just happens.
Yeah, just happens
And she
sometimes.
picks it up, and she goes, let me get that for you. Pops it on. And he's like, whatever. And it's like...
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. All that stuff about why I'm different and misunderstood, actually, at the end of the day, you get past that.
Because
we're
now...
all just people.
You didn't name it at the beginning.
Time mummies.
Oh, sorry. Say it.
Time mummies.
Thank you.
Goes to the blood bank, and he's like, hey, I need a blood transfusion. Do you have double or positive? And they're like,
Sure we do. Sign here. There's your blood.